Well, in front of all you great musicians, I sort of feel like an imposter. But that's the way life goes. I first came to the Conservatory in 1955 when the building was up on California Street. Probably a lot of you weren't around then. And I came down from Redding, California, where I was living, and got my undergraduate work at Shasta College. And I was attracted by, at that time, by Adolf Bahler, who was a great pianist on the faculty here. And I thought I was going to become a classical pianist. But then when I got to the Bay Area, I realized maybe I better consider other career options. Anyway, I continued studying with Bahler, and over the years, there has been some kind of connection with the Conservatory. My good friend Ramon Sender, who's in the audience, Ramon and Judy, hi, invited me up to the Conservatory when Ramon had developed the electronic music studio. Because all of us were poor as church mice, we didn't have any equipment, and Ramon had scrounged up enough good equipment for the time. I mean, I think we were working in mono in those days, which seems unthinkable today. But we could go up there and with Ramon's studio and actually try to put pieces together with equipment that was much better than any of us owned individually. And we also, Ramon was putting on concerts, and I remember electronic music concerts there with Richard Maxfield, and so it was a place to hear music that, on the West Coast at that time was unavailable. And thanks to him, there was, he brought people out here, and I think we did Richard Maxfield's Piano Concerto. Was that on one of these concerts? And Tom Constantin of the Grateful Dead was around, I remember, and it was really the beginning of a very interesting cultural movement in San Francisco, kind of a countercultural movement, actually, because nobody knew these upstarts until the concerts started happening up there, and then finally became known. And now, many years later, there's books written about it and everything. So you're part of a great history. Now we're down the center of all these great buildings and the Jazz Center and the ballet and everything down here. It's kind of like Lincoln Center in New York, and it's pretty great that this has all been tied together. But we still need the guys that are coming up to keep us all honest, the new musicians with ideas that have to be listened to. And I think that probably many of you are going to be attracted to that. I really congratulate you on working hard at the Conservatory. I know how hard it is. I had a son that went to school here, and I also like to congratulate the parents who support their children, because obviously many of them don't have the means to do this on their own, and it's quite a thing to go through 4 years of this. Anyway, I know you all want to go. I know you all want to go out and do something else, and I'm not going to stand up here too long. But thank you very much for this honor, President Stoll, the board, the faculty, all you students. I'm very touched to have this opportunity to be here and receive this honor. So thank you. I'm going to play for you and maybe read a couple of things at the piano. And then we'll be on to the party. I forgot part of what I was going to do. Just a couple of quotes that I thought were interesting for our times. Some from me and some from other people. But they're short, won't take too much of your time. First is, the truth, like the sun, is hard to stare at for a long time. The second is, and this is very good for all of us musicians, don't compare yourself to others. What happens with this is that this is what creates writer's block, I think, is that we think we see something really amazing and fantastic that's done, and we love that, and because our spirits connect to that, because we are musicians and we work with vibration. But what we have to listen to beyond that is what our inner voice is telling us, where it wants us to go. So don't compare yourself to others has been very useful advice. Third is, danger and dancer only disagree on the fourth letter, for all you budding ballerinas. And the last one, not the last one, if the endorphins aren't pumping, you're probably not dancing, having sex, or playing music. Thank you. I hear a lot of experience out there. The next one's from the Dalai Lama, which I think is very good. When you speak, this is the Dalai Lama saying to us, when you speak, you are saying something you already know. When you are silent and listening, you may learn something. That's pretty good. The next is something I wrote contemplating our human condition. We are cracked pots, scarred vessels, flawed humanoid contraptions, busted meatballs from distant galaxies, ruptured, perforated egos on the fritz, conked out and sidetracked for the duration, but, then a fresh breeze floats in from the pure fields, and even writing these words, a miracle. The next is about Winston Churchill, who was Prime Minister of England during World War II. When Winston Churchill was asked to cut arts funding in favor of the war, he simply replied, "Then what are we fighting for?" And the last is the last is from Robert Browning, which is, I think, a beautiful idea. A man's reach, or a woman's reach, a man's reach must exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Thank you all. Congratulations and good luck to you all. All music starts from the point of nothingness. It asks permission to enter